Subscribe to the channel and follow for more high-quality content you don't want to miss. The rise of commercial space stations. For many years, the International Space Station, or ISS, stood as an unmatched orbital laboratory. But that picture is now changing fast. As the ISS approaches its planned retirement around 2030, private companies are no longer just selling short-term space trips or running demonstration missions. They are building entirely new orbital platforms, places where microgravity habitats, in-space manufacturing, government services, and even private astronaut missions can all coexist within a new business model. Hardware is already being built, testing is underway, and NASA's procurement strategy is evolving to support this emerging market. Why are commercial space stations becoming so important? The biggest driver is NASA's strategic shift. The agency is moving away from owning and operating space stations toward a model where it purchases services from private companies. In other words, NASA becomes just one of many customers, instead of funding and controlling the entire ecosystem. Who's leading the race? First, Axiom Space remains one of the most prominent players. Its approach is unique, starting with modules attached to the ISS, then eventually detaching to form a free-flying station. NASA has confirmed that Axiom adjusted its assembly design, prioritizing power, thermal, and core systems first, allowing the station to become operational earlier. As of now, Axiom's first module is already in manufacturing and integration, and the company raised $350 million in February 2026 to accelerate development. Axiom stands out for its battle-tested experience, combining real hardware progress with actual human spaceflight missions. Next is Starlab, a serious competitor. Its design focuses on an integrated launch system, combining service modules and habitation into a unified structure. NASA reports that Starlab has completed its preliminary design phase, and by early 2026, it successfully passed the Commercial Critical Design Review. This marks a shift from design into manufacturing and system integration. What makes Starlab especially interesting is its strong focus on business viability, highlighting that survival in this industry depends not just on technology, but on sustainable revenue streams. Third, we have Orbital Reef, led by Blue Origin and Sierra Space. Its concept is closer to an orbital business park rather than a traditional research station. NASA indicates that the project is progressing through human-in-the-loop simulations, testing how astronauts live, work, communicate, and operate systems in microgravity. This shows that the race is no longer just about building modules. It's about real operational experience and usability in space. And then there's VAST, a rapidly emerging company, with its Haven 1 station targeting a launch around 2027. Its follow-up, Haven 2, aims to support continuous human presence between 2028 and 2030. NASA has already selected VAST for a private astronaut mission to the ISS, a strong signal that the company is entering the mainstream space ecosystem. VAST's strategy is step-by-step. Launch small, learn fast, then scale. It's a risky approach, but one that could significantly accelerate development. How will commercial space stations make money? If space tourism were the only revenue stream, this model would not be sustainable. NASA envisions something far broader. Future stations will support microgravity research in biology, materials, and pharmaceuticals, in-space manufacturing, hardware testing and data processing, astronaut training, cargo and crew transportation, and infrastructure services like power, communication, and orbital operations. In simple terms, these stations are not space hotels. They are integrated service platforms for science, industry, governments, and emerging space nations. From a market perspective, 4 main revenue streams are emerging. The biggest challenges still remain. Despite strong progress, this race is still full of risks. NASA reports that even providers struggle to secure adequate insurance for assets and liability, a factor that could slow investment and raise costs. There are also major challenges in safety certification, life support systems, docking and integration long-term operations. These were traditionally handled by governments. Now, private companies must solve them. NASA has also not yet fully transitioned to long-term service contracts under the CLD program. Instead, it continues to support companies through funded Space Act agreements. This suggests that while NASA wants to enable the market, it still needs more proof of technical and commercial viability. Trends and future impact. The biggest shift from 2026 to 2030 is the transition from space projects to space platforms. In the past, space stations were symbols of science or international cooperation. In the future, they will function like scalable platforms, modular, rentable, expandable, serving multiple customers at once. This transformation could lower the barrier to entry for smaller nations, enable new startups in biotech and robotics, turn low Earth orbit into a true industrial economy. However, the next phase won't be about who launches first. It will be about who can operate sustainably. To survive, a commercial station must be as safe as human-rated systems, be as flexible as a service platform, have customers beyond NASA, and maintain enough capital to endure long cycles. As a result, the market will likely split. Some projects will succeed and scale, some will become suppliers, and others may fail before launch. Conclusion. Commercial space stations are now at a critical turning point. Moving from concept designs to real hardware, financing, and proven operations. If the ISS represented the era of government-led collaboration, then Axiom, Starlab, Orbital Reef, and VAST represent a new era, where low Earth orbit becomes a service-driven economy. The question is no longer, will commercial space stations exist, but rather, which model is strong enough to survive after 2030? Thank you for watching. Subscribe and follow the channel so you don't miss the latest updates.